So guys, it's Monday. I'm going to be vlogging quite a bit this week, so I don't know how much I'll actually vlog today, but I thought I'd pick up the camera and do a little bit. It's lunchtime, and Olivia's out doing chores, letting the dogs run the yard. Mr. Oliver there. I don't know if you can tell. Let's see if I can zoom in on him. It's hard for you to tell, but he is walking stiffly. He has been walking stiffly for a few days now, and he's been not wanting to jump up on the furniture on the couch for probably about a month or so, but he's been acting normal otherwise, and so we didn't really think anything of it, and we've been kind of preoccupied with Sally and her problems, but we did end up getting a vet appointment for him today, this afternoon. We think he is having a relapse of his Lyme's disease. He was diagnosed with Lyme's a couple years ago, and he's on tick preventative now, but I've heard that once you get Lyme's, even a person, once you get it, it's in your system forever, and you can have flares. So we think he's having a Lyme's flare, and so we're gonna have to get him back on some antibiotics. So we're doing that today. I also wanted to update you on this. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I planted some green onions that I had bought from the store. I just planted them in this planter. It didn't work. I either did something wrong, or whoever said you could plant them in soil and keep them alive was not being truthful. But anyway, they all died. So I needed to replant these succulents. They were in that little teacup. So I just repotted them in this pot, and they seem to be doing okay. I mean, they haven't died, and it's been a couple weeks since I did that. So hopefully they'll grow and get more succulent, no pun intended. Here are my sprouts that I started in the last vlog on Thursday. A Thursday vlog. I'll let these go for a couple more days. And I just got a shipment. My shipment came of some more sprouting seeds. I get my seeds from True Leaf Market. You go down in the description box. I'll have a link to their website. I am not sponsored, but True Leaf Market is where I get all of my seeds, and I absolutely love them. Very, very good quality, very good germination rate. And I wanted to try some other sprouting seeds, so I got some lentils. I heard those are really fun and good. I looked up like the most mild tasting sprouts and like the best tasting sprouts, and lentils was on the list. Mung beans is also on the list. Alfalfa. And then peas. Now I have peas going. There are different seeds that I started for my microgreens last week, and I will show you the progress of those. But I wanted to get some actual peas that were actually for sprouting. So I got some of those. And then I have another order coming of for more microgreen seeds. And one of the best tasting microgreen seeds that I heard about and I want to try are actually sunflowers. So I'm going to be trying my hand at doing microgreens, sunflower microgreens. So anyway, that's my little sprouting seed haul. And these seeds will last me a long, long time. Probably the ones I use up the fastest will be the peas, because they're really big seeds. But when I get done eating the radish and cabbage seeds, they're sprouts that I have going now, I will try something else. I'll probably try the lentil and the alfalfa maybe. I don't know, but I'll try one of these next time. I am down in my growing room on my grow table, and these were the marigolds that I seeded, and I've had almost 100% germination rate, And nothing came up in this cell, so I'm wondering if I accidentally forgot to put a seed in there. Although, wait a minute. Nope, there looks like one coming up. And that must have just planted it a little deeper. But they're doing real good. I'm going to give them a little drink here. And then up here in these trays are my sprouts. And you can kind of see they're starting to do some stuff. I still have them on these heat mats. And I'm thinking in another day I'm going to take the heat mats off. And in another 2 days, on Wednesday, I'm going to take the covers off and turn the light on. So that's going well. I want to get a couple more of these heat mats because they're really nice. These are my pea sprouts. Let me pull them out of here. And for some reason, that corner and that corner have not germinated. And those were the corners that were more on the heat pad. So I am really not sure what's going on there. So I'm gonna water these really good, and then I'm gonna stick them down on the bottom shelf with no heat and see what happens with these. The heat very well could be the problem, because here's a tray that I have half salad mix and half peas, and this half of the peas was not on the heat mat, and the germination rate is a lot better. And this half was on the heat mat, and it looks like it's gotten a little bit dried out. So I am going to move all of my sprout trays off of the heat pads onto the bottom shelf and see if they do better. I don't think it's too late. I think I can salvage it. And then that looks like mold there. That's not mold. That's just little roots. I don't know what they're called, little furry roots. This whole idea of growing things and sprouts and microgreens and all that I'm doing is very much new to me. I mean, I have done some seed starting and things like that. If you follow my channel for a while, you know that. But I have never been good at it, ever. And I've always said I do not have a green thumb, but I really would like to get good at doing the microgreens and growing lettuce. I love salad, and I eat a lot of salad. In fact, my body, my digestion works so much better if I eat a good big salad every single day for lunch. And I don't get tired of them because you can add so many different things to a salad and make things so different that I don't get tired of them. But I do get tired of buying lettuce in the store that is not good. Not good lettuce. Lettuces that turn brown really fast, or, you know, there's always seems to be recalls on lettuce. It makes me nervous. So I would really love it if I could get to the point where I am growing all of my own microgreens and lettuces, so I don't have to buy them at the store anymore. So a lot of this is trial and error. I'm not going to give up on it, but I have learned, I think, from this situation that to only put the seedlings on the heat mat for the first day or so and then pull them off, because I don't think they need it. Even though my basement is cool, I don't think they need it. Now, the reason why these microgreens are so yellow is because they have not been exposed to light. And I'm also thinking that I don't need to put soil on top of them, because as you can see, it's just kind of getting pushed off anyway. So maybe the next time I do this, I will just put seeds down and no soil on top of them and see what happens. See if that method works. Good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put down on the bottom shelf as well. And then I am going to get some lettuce seeds sown so that I can make leaf lettuce. I'm not going to try to do heads of lettuce. That's too complicated from what I have been researching, but just doing leaf lettuce is fairly simple. So I'm going to try my hand at doing some leaf lettuce. So in here are my worms, and you really can't see a whole lot. I mean, they're underneath the ground doing their job, underneath the dirt, I should say. But I had a couple heads of lettuce that went yucky on me, and normally I just bury it, but I just kind of threw them in here, and they're doing a good job. They're composting them down, so they're doing a really good job. Doing worms, having a worm farm is very, very easy, not complicated at all. It doesn't take hardly any time. And so if you enjoy doing gardening type stuff, I would suggest you do a worm farm. Look into it, do some research, and have fun with it. I have fun with it. So anyway, I almost sometimes forget they're even here. But thankfully I remember to feed them. So that is the one thing, you do have to feed them regularly. So anyway, there's the update on the little worms. They're right next to my grow table here. And then next to my worm bin, this was this was a cabinet that was out in the entryway that I took out when I redid the entryway, but I didn't want to get rid of it because it's a Little Tikes changing table actually that I used when my kids were babies, and I've kept it all these years because it's got a nice storage and it's nice and sturdy. So this is going to be my plant seeding stand. Rather than taking all this stuff upstairs every time I want to do some microgreens or lettuce, I have it right here. This is the tote that I use to moisten my coconut core brick. That's what this is. It comes in bricks, and you just add water and it will fill this whole bottom of this thing. It'll be enough to probably do 2 trays of lettuce. So I'll bring you back when this is all ready to go, and we'll get some lettuce seeds started. Here is the coconut core all rehydrated, and I also added some of this to it just to lighten it a little bit. I have here a tray that has holes in it. I think it's a 10 by 20 inch tray. I just got these off of Amazon, and I am going to fill this tray with this soil. If I have enough soil, I'll do 1 tray of lettuce and 1 tray of kale as leaf, not microgreens. Don't know if I'll have enough soil for that, but maybe. Alright, so to this mix that I've just patted down very gently, I have a whole mess of seeds here that I've used in the past. The germination rates of them are varied, but I'm just going to use them up and we'll see what happens. This one is for by Seeds for Generations, which is supposed to be an heirloom company, and to be honest, I have not had great germination rate from them, so I will not be buying from them again in the future. But so I'm going to go ahead and just use up these seeds in here. we're going to have a mixture of lettuces. And that dark stuff in there is dirt from my fingers. So from what I understand, you're supposed to sow your leaf lettuces very thick. I also have some of this butter crunch. This came with my green stalk garden that I got last year for Mother's Day. And I'm just going to try it as leaf lettuce. From what I have also gathered from my research, you do not have to use seeds that are specifically for leaf lettuce. Any lettuce will be a leaf lettuce because you just harvest it sooner. You don't allow it to become a head of lettuce. Here, I got this at, I think, Dollar Tree, 4 for $1. This is just a lettuce, heirloom variety, I don't know. So I'm going to use that in here. And I think that's probably going to be enough seeds for this. And for this, I am going to try not covering it with soil and just see what happens. See how it does without being covered with soil. There is a little bit of patches here. So here's some more of the Seeds for Generations. This is the Tom Thumb. There's not very much of that left, so I'll just go ahead and use this up as well. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to just water this in really good with my sprayer just to kind of settle them in. Get them a little moist so they can get started. Now I am going to start these out on the heat mats just for a day or until I start seeing signs that they're sprouting. And then I'm going to take them off of the heat mat and see what happens then. And then I'm also going to put these in, I've got 10 by 20 trays that do not have holes. So I'm just gonna put some water in the bottom of this. Now, I don't really need to put water in the bottom of these until they start to form a root system. But I think with the heat and them being covered, I'm gonna cover these, it will have the greenhouse effect going on. So I'm going to put this inside. Whoa, just about had a disaster. I'll put this inside of here. And then I can water these as the plants grow. I can water them just by lifting up a corner and pouring some water in. And then I also have another one of those trays that do not have holes. And I'm going to put it over the top like so that it gets the greenhouse effect. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuck on the grow table, and then I'm going to do a tray of kale and see. I think I have enough soil to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this tray. I'm going to get it set up before I put the soil in it this time. A tray without holes, a little water. If you hear something that sounds like thunder, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's actually Edna going upstairs. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of this soil in here. I decided to set this up downstairs because to do it upstairs, I had to completely clean off my kitchen table. And then invariably I would get dirt all over the table, dirt all over the floor. And so I figured I might as well just set up an area downstairs to keep all of my mess. And like, see this dirt that I got on here? Doesn't matter so much because this is my gardening spot. Oh yeah, I've got plenty of soil here. I'm just going to do the same thing, pat this down. And again, I'm not going to cover these seeds, and I'm just going to see what happens, see if it does better. It'll take up less soil that way. And if it works out, then that's great. So then, and like I said, in this tray, I'm going to do kale. I've got this dwarf curled variety. Not sure where this came from. There's nothing in it hardly. It was an empty envelope that got put back. Fun. Okay, so now I've got this red Russian kale. I've used this before, and this had a pretty good germination rate and was really a really good variety of kale. And I think this will probably be enough seeds to do the whole tray here. Because you're doing it as a loose leaf variety and not wanting a giant plant to grow, you can sow these seeds very close together. And then what you do is when they're ready to harvest, you just go along and kind of give them a haircut. And some things will grow back a second time, not nearly as luscious, but you can get more than one cutting off of this. So I'm going to get down here close and check and make sure that it's seeded real well. If not, I think I've got more kale seed in the refrigerator. I keep my seeds in the refrigerator, and I can finish this tray out, and we're going to move it over to the plant stand. I did not have any more kale, but I did have some Swiss chard, and I think it needs just a little bit more seed in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do a light dusting of this Swiss chard amongst the kale. You can see the big difference in the seeds here. That will add some color and variety to this as long as it grows. So then I'm going to go ahead and spray it. Get these seeds nice and moist. And I'm going to cover these and put it on the grow table. So here they are on the grow table. I will check them tomorrow and see if there's any sprouting action, and if there is, I will turn the heat off, but I will not uncover them for 4 or 5 days probably. So that's the update on my grow table. Starting to get excited. Hopefully we'll get lots of, I'm hoping I can perfect this and I can get lots of greens, and I won't have to buy it from the store anymore. Well, good morning, friends. We took Oliver to the vet yesterday, and he is out of frame. There goes Percy. And Sally wants up on the couch. Hold on. All right, Sally's on the couch. Oliver's back in the room. His vet appointment yesterday. It went well. He was an absolute nightmare. He was so nervous. He hates riding in the car. He hates going to the vet. What are you smelling, buddy? And anyway, aside from him being a nervous wreck, it went well. He is prone to getting car sick, and he did not, so that's another good thing. And so the vet did a couple of like reflex tests on him, on his back feet and his lower spine, and there's a section of probably about 5 inches along his lower spine, right above his right in this area right here, that did not reflex very quickly, and his back feet or slow to reflex. Well, that's where he's been having pain back there. So he didn't want to just say, yeah, it's Lyme's disease right away because Travis, can you tell this morning I haven't had any tea yet? Oliver didn't have any of the other symptoms of Lyme's disease as far as lethargy and no appetite and that kind of stuff. He's been eating fine. He's been low energy, but I think that's because he's hurting. So he's like, well, I want to do an x-ray just to make sure there's nothing going on with his spine. So they did an x-ray. The x-ray didn't show anything majorly wrong. So he doesn't have a ruptured disc or any kind of bone spurs or anything like that. He did have one area about where the pain was, where there was a narrowing in the area where the discs are, which means the bones were getting closer together. But there was no sign of a bulging disc or anything like that. So he could not conclusively say, yes, it's a spine issue. So he's an old-fashioned vet, and I really like him. He does take into consideration people's funds and money, and he doesn't just automatically say we're going to run 50,000 tests that's going to cost you $600. So because Oliver has a history of Lyme's, and because there was nothing majorly conclusive about there being a spine issue, he decided to attack, quote unquote, this problem from two different angles. He didn't do another blood test. He didn't find that necessary at this time. Oliver does have his annual exam in June, and they will do a blood test then, testing for heartworms and Lyme disease and all of that stuff. So, and those are expensive. Those blood work tests are expensive. So he wanted to save us a little money there. And so now if he didn't already have a history of Lyme's, they would have done a blood test. But since he already has a history of it, he didn't do a blood test. But he gave him a shot of steroid, which is an anti-inflammatory, which if it's a spine issue would settle that down, he said, pretty much right away. And then he also gave him a 3-week prescription for doxycycline, which is a antibiotic. He said, so if it's the Lyme's disease, he should be acting completely normal within 6 days of taking the antibiotic. If it's a spine issue, he should be acting completely normal by today. Well, he hasn't tried jumping up on the couch. Let's just put it that way. So I am not 100% convinced it's a spine issue. I do think it's probably the Lyme's disease flaring up. That's my opinion. And so since the vet couldn't rule either one of those out, he's treating both, which I think is smart. My nose is itching so bad. So you keep hearing me rubbing my nose. Oh my goodness, these allergies this time of year. Anyway, so he's on an antibiotic, and we're gonna, and the other thing we have to do is keep him from jumping and being crazy and running around with his brother for 2 weeks, which is going to be super challenging. It's raining, and I bet you Bo's going to want back in. Hold on just a minute. Yes, he did want back in, and so then the Beagle brothers had to run and see what was going on. I heard the rain come down real fast, and I thought, I bet you Bo's out. I had just let him out to go potty this morning. So anyway, he left. I don't want you just staring at the cushion. I'll put you over there on Sally. So, anyway, so when he told me to keep him from jumping and playing and running and stuff for 2 weeks, I told him, I said, you want to come over, stay with us and show us how to do that, Doc? So that's not gonna be easy. But so far, you know, if it is the limes, which I'm leaning towards, he's not gonna want to he's not gonna feel like running and jumping and playing for another week. So there we go. That'll take care of 1 week of it. And if he, like I said, if he doesn't start improving today, like massively, then I'm gonna know it's not his spine, and I'm not gonna be too seriously worried about it. Percy's getting into something. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it is a circus around here. Percy, he didn't want to play. So anyway, today I will be finishing up this vlog, and then I will start another one probably tomorrow for Friday. This will be Wednesday's video. So what I have planned for today is I have to go to Spine and Joint and get an adjustment, and then I've got some errands I need to do in town, just a couple of, I'll go to the bank, and I gotta go do a drop off at Salvation Army, and I'm gonna go into Salvation Army because I'm looking for something specific. Then I gotta go over to Tractor Supply and get some animal feed, which will probably totally undo all of the work they did at Spine and Joint, lifting all those heavy bags. I can probably find a young person that works there to help me load it. I might. And then I gotta go over to Walmart and get a couple of things. So anyway, that's what I have to do here very shortly. So I gotta get my morning routine going and get done so I can get out of here. I have to leave in about an hour and a half. And so anyway, that's what I got to do. And then when I get home, I've got to make dog food again. I think I made dog food in my last vlog, and I thought it was gonna last me 2 weeks. It's only lasts me barely a week. So I'm gonna make a double batch this time, make twice as much, and hopefully it'll last us longer. I've definitely got to do that today. I probably won't even show you that because you know, you saw it last week. And if my Amazon order comes, which it says it's supposed to, I have a project I want to work on. If that doesn't happen in this video, it'll have to happen in a different one. But anyway, I got to get Percy away from Oliver. He's aggravating him, and I got to get on with my morning, so I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Well, I am home, and what a yucky, gloomy, gross, wet, cold day it is. Terrible day for having to do errands, but nothing I can do about that. But am home. I have a haul. I went over to Walmart, as I think I told you I needed to do. I'll show you what I picked up there. I picked up a couple things from Tractor Supply other than feed that you might be interested in seeing. And then I have an impromptu thrift haul, which I will sit down and do for you, and a story time, something I want to tell you that happened in town today. All right, friends, let's go ahead and get on with the Walmart and Tractor Supply haul. All right, so this is what I picked up from Walmart, mostly produce. And I've got some events going on this week that I need to make food for. So some of this is for that. Friday night, we are having a women's craft night at our church. And we're having deli as the theme, I guess, for the meal. So I was trying to think of some deli foods that are found in a deli. I don't know. So I'm going to make some bow tie pasta salad, and I needed to pick up some more mayo because I wasn't sure if I had enough of that. I'm also going to make I'll skip down here for that. I'm going to make potato wedges and chicken tenders. I'm going to cook those. That'll be my portion of the meal for Friday night. I also picked up some chicken breast tenderloins. I'm just going to cook those in the oven for me, for my salads. I got some chicken breasts for Sally's dog food. I'm going to cook those up as soon as I get done with this haul. I got 4 bags of peas and carrots frozen, also for Sally's dog food. Picked up some more of my Milo's unsweetened tea that I love so much. And then when I was looking for the frozen food section, I found these. They're already cooked. Purdue chicken breast tenders. So I picked these up also for lunches for my salads. Kind of skipped down to the frozen section. I'll skip back to the produce. I picked up 2 heads of lettuce just for my salads. I've been trying to eat a big salad every day. Some bananas and a pineapple. It's not quite ripe, but it's getting there. After it sits on the counter for a few days, it should be ready. I got some more of these Cara oranges. Those were really good, nice and sweet. And then I picked up some of these ambrosia apples. They were, let's see, on the sweetness scale, it says they're pretty sweet. And then on this crispness scale, it's pretty crisp, which is what I really like in an apple. Sweet and crisp. Picked up 2 bunches of carrots. Wednesday night, I'm bringing carrots as my contribution to the meal that we have on Wednesday nights at church. And then I just picked up some more blueberries because I love them. And I have not had anything to eat yet today. It's already 2 o'clock. I think I'm going to make myself a yogurt and blueberry parfait in a little bit to eat. And then over at Tractor Supply, I ended up getting feed for the animals, which is kind of boring. And then I got some of these begging strips for Bo, our indoor-outdoor dog, and Bear, our outdoor dog. And then I picked up this duck. It's a metal duck, and it's solar. It's a solar light. And this is to go on my deck, my front deck. It's gonna kind of match the theme that I've got going on for the for my front deck this year. All right, let me get this stuff out of the way, and then I'll show you what I picked up at Twice Treasured and Salvation Army. All right, now on to the fun part of the haul. But before I get into the haul, I'm gonna go ahead and do my little story time of what happened today. I did something today I have never done before. Remember last time that a couple of months ago, when I went and had my massage done at the spine and joint place, my chiropractor, and I had gotten that guy, and I said I wasn't comfortable. I didn't really feel comfortable with him, and not that he did anything wrong, but I just kind of got a bad vibe from him. Anyway, I was under the impression that he was not going to be back at our local branch very often. He normally works up at the main branch. Well, I saw him there again today, and I kept thinking, oh, please, I don't want him again. I don't want him again. I got him again. And to say I was dissatisfied with my visit is an understatement. He was, again, he didn't do anything inappropriate. He didn't do anything creepy. He just didn't do a very good job. I go there because I have severe problems with my shoulder. The muscles in my shoulder get knotted up, and it's very painful. And I have been going there for a long time for this problem. And I always get so much relief after I have a really good deep tissue massage. Well, the first time I went and saw him a couple of months ago, the only reason why, looking back at it now, the only reason why the massage was actually even beneficial to me at all was because he used one of those massage guns. And I was so impressed with that massage gun that I actually went and bought one off of Amazon, and I do use it and I like it. So I didn't consider that a completely wasted visit then. But his actual massage, where he actually worked on my muscles, was substandard. It was just not good. And that was the first time I went. So like I said, I didn't think I'd ever get him again, so I didn't say anything. I didn't complain. I'm not one to complain. I don't like to complain and get people in trouble and that kind of stuff. So I didn't say anything. Well, today I got him again. And I don't know if it was just him or if it's a man thing or what, but he spent the entire time. I only get 15 minutes. It's only a 15-minute slotted massage. So it is, it's like I need every minute of that 15 minutes actually working on my muscles. He spent the vast majority of the time sitting there with his hand just laying on my shoulder, not even massaging, and talking to me. It's like, can you not move your fingers and talk at the same time? And I don't think he can, because the times that the period of time that he actually worked my muscles, he wasn't talking. It was basically just like this kind of a rub. He did not get in there and get into the problem. And I even pointed to the spot where they've been really working and it's been giving me a lot of trouble. And he pushed a little bit harder in that spot and he's like, oh yeah, I can feel the lumps and bumps in there. And so he started working that area and I said, yeah, that's where it hurts. I said, you could push harder. He didn't. I'm telling you, Olivia could have done a better job. And she has no strength in her hands. She could have done a better job. And then he didn't use hardly any like lotion. So it was like a dry, like skin on skin massage that did not feel good. And then he didn't offer to put any biofreeze on, which they always offer that. And I always take it because it warms the muscles up and it feels really good after you've gotten a really good deep tissue massage. So as soon as the timer went off, he was like, he was done. And I'm like, I was so frustrated. And I was getting my clothes back on after, I'm like, that was the worst massage I've ever had in my entire life. I'm like, I am not happy. I'm very dissatisfied. Thinking this in my head, and I'm like, I might never come back here. That's how dissatisfied I was. So then I go to get my adjustment, and the doctor, he's like, so how was your muscle work today? And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking it was absolutely the worst massage I've ever gotten in my entire life. But out of my mouth came, oh, well, it was okay. So then I get in the car and I leave and I'm like, you know what? I wasn't honest. I was not honest. It was not okay. It was horrible. And I was totally dissatisfied. I don't feel like I even got a massage and I had to pay money for it. And so I'm like, you know what? They need to know. They need to know this guy is talking more than working. And when he does work, it's not to the right standard. This was not a relaxation massage. This was a deep tissue massage to help a person who has problems with their muscles. And so I called him and I talked to the lady at the front. I know most of these people by name because I go there so often. And so I specifically asked to talk to her, and I told her, I said, you know, Dr. Aaron asked if the muscle work was okay today, and I said, or how it was, and I said, okay, and I said, I wasn't being honest. I said, because it was not okay. And so I told her exactly what I just told you, and she was so thankful that I called. She said, because we want to know when stuff like this happens. And I said, could you please make a note on my chart that I don't ever want him again? And she's like, I will do that right now. So I was so upset about what happened that when I scheduled my next appointment, I said, let's skip a month. And at this point, I had not told her what happened. And so I'm not going back in May. I'm going back in June. And hopefully, I really hope the guy gets fired because he just didn't do his job. And it was a pattern. It wasn't just he was having a bad day. It's a pattern. And I don't ever want to have him again. So anyway, I stood up for myself. Yay me, I'm proud. And like I said, I don't like to get people in trouble and I don't like to complain, but I walked away from there feeling very frustrated and very dissatisfied, and they needed to know. I'm really kind of hoping I get a free massage next time, but I'm not counting on it. So anyway, on to my haul. The reason I went into Salvation Army, two things. I have a ton of stuff that I'm donating because I have been clearing out. My style has changed a lot. I really do like the more vintagey stuff, and so I feel like if I bring something into the house, something needs to go. So that's what I've been doing. So I got a whole pile of stuff down in the basement that Olivia, Sunday, she was so sweet and she boxed it all up for me, and so I've been taking it in batches to Salvation Army to donate. And then also Friday night, that church event that I was telling you about, it's actually a craft night and we're going to be doing some decoupage. And so I didn't have any kind of like a vessel or any kind of thing to decoupage, so I thought Salvation Army would be a really good place to look. I probably could have went over to Dollar Tree and got something there, but I didn't want to make another stop. I was already making enough stops as it was. So I go into Salvation Army. I don't even get a cart because I'm like, I'm just going to zip in there and zip out. Well, they must have just stocked their shelves because I came out with with more than just a couple of glass containers. But anyway, I'll show you. They had their white tags were on 50% off. I did get a couple of white tag items. The first thing I got was this little vase. I thought this would be like really pretty with a electric candle or a battery operated candle in it to decoupage. And I had to get two because Olivia's going to be going. I'll let her choose which one of these she wants. This one was $1.99, so it was just barely more than what I would pay at Dollar Tree. And this one was a white tag. It was normally $3.99, so I got it for $2. I just really liked the shape of it. So like I said, I will let Olivia choose which one she wants to decoupage, and I will decoupage the other. Another white tag item, I looked at these the last time, which was basically just last week when I went thrifting, and I really liked them, but I didn't really like the price. But they were white tags, so I got them for half price, which is still a little high, but I thought not too bad. And it was this, oh, what is this stuff called? Transferware. Sorry, my brain. This is transferware, and I really like the ones that have more than one color, but I do like the brown and white, and then this had touches of blue and green in it, and it was a set of 2. So I got 2 of them for $5. On the back it says made in England by Johnson Brothers. Genuine hand engraved all decoration under the glaze. Detergent and acid resisting color. So it doesn't say dishwasher safe, so I know this is pretty old. But anyway, I really liked these, and they're just going to be used in decor. Then I picked up this little thing. It's just a little tray, divided tray, but I'm going to use it like a little shelf for little miniature things, and I paid $1.99 for it. Thought it was really cute. Then I picked up this. I love little miniature things, you know, and this little crock, this little miniature crock, and it was $2.99. I love the colors of that. And then I picked up this. It was $5.99. It's a cast iron doorstop. I don't think I'll use it as a doorstop, but you know how much I love my poultry, my waterfowl and poultry, and I believe this is a swan. I think it's a swan, and it's got little, or it might be a duck, I don't know. The neck is kind of too long for a duck, but it's got the little babies down here, and it's heavy, cast iron. And then the last thing I picked up at Salvation Army was probably a little more than, I don't know if it was a super good deal or not, but I know exactly what I'm going to do with it, and I really liked it. And it's this wicker picnic basket. It needs a little bit of cleaning. It looks like someone took some crayon to the top, but I think I can get that off. And it was $9.99. There's nothing wrong with it. It's in really good shape, other than it's not really crayon. Maybe it's like watermarks or something on the top. But if I can't get it off, I'm just gonna put a doily on top of it anyway. So I picked that up. That is everything I got at Salvation Army. And then I went over to Twice Treasured too. I almost forgot. I was actually in Salvation Army when it dawned on me. Remember my last haul, I said I had bought that flour sifter and they forgot to pay me, or forgot to charge me for it. And I told them, well, I'm gonna be back in town next week. Well, that was today, and I almost forgot to go over there. And of course, you can't go in there and not run through the store real quick. So I just went through really quick, and I went just to my favorite vendors inside there. And I picked up a couple of things, paid for that sifter, of course. And then I saw this platter, and I thought that it, thank you. Olivia says it's upside down. I saw this platter, and in my mind, I thought it matched these little saucers. because these are out in the car and my memory's not the greatest. It doesn't exactly match, but it's very pretty nonetheless. And I love the scene on it. And it says Pastoral Japan on the back. If you can see that, there's kind of a glare. And I just love the scene. So this will also be used for decor, not for food. And I paid $5 for that platter, which I didn't think was too bad. And then I picked up something that Olivia pointed out to me the last time I was there. And I don't know, I might give it to her. I might keep it. I don't know. It's one of these little miniature house scenes. And Percy's playing with his toy. That's what all that racket is. And she pointed it out to me because I don't know if you can see it, but on there it says, a ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are for. And it's got the little ship. And she's like, Mom, that means you need to let me go. And not try to just keep me home and keep me safe. You need to let me spread my wings and fly. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear it. But she's right. But it's hard and I don't want to. And one of these days, probably sooner than I want, both of my kids are going to move out. And then I'll be an empty nester and I'm not going to be very happy about it. So I bought this as kind of like a reminder of what she said and to try to prepare myself for that day. So yeah, I just thought this was super cute. All right, I got a couple more things real quick. I picked up this also out of that same booth. I had looked at this last time. I thought it was super cute. And I paid $3 for that. The Tiny Town was $5.50. Then I found this. It's a beagle figurine. You don't find those very often. And so, of course, I had to pick it up in honor of my beagles. And it has a remnant of a tag on the bottom, a sticker. And I'm sure it was one that said made in Japan or something, because I've seen those before. And I can kind of just tell by the feel of it and the look of it that it's probably made in Japan, a bit older. And it was only $3. And then I found this. It's carnival glass. It was $5.50, and it's the amber glass that I love, and also a deer, and the deer was not broken. And the lady at the checkout told me that what they used to use these for is back when in the day when ladies would get loose powder for their faces, they would put it in here and then have this on their beauty table to hold their face powder. And then the last thing I got was a vintage planter. I paid $6 for this. And I love vintage planters only if they're unique, if they're not broken, and if they're small. And that's what this one, it fit all the little categories there. I think she's super cute. I love her little face. And yeah, just thought she was adorable. And I think I said she was $6. All right, that's my little impromptu vintage haul. I've got the chicken on cooking, and I got to get some rice made. We got to get dog food made. So, and I got to get something to eat because I'm starving, and we got to get Edna started again. I had Olivia shut her off while I was doing this haul. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and end this video today. I know this was a long one, and I'm sorry. It just, you know, I was chatty and I had a story to tell, and we had lots of things happening. And so I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was long. The rest of that day, I put all the fresh produce away. I made dog food, and I put a couple of the things that I thrifted, I placed them. Where I placed everything else will be in Friday's vlog, so be watching for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye, friends.